I'm Geneva Robins, a Reiki Master here at LunaHolistic. Today, I'd like to talk to you about worry. It's one of the Reiki ideals, which is to let go of worry. Simple to say, harder to do. I have logged many hours, years of being locked into a state of worry and deep fight or flight and anxiety. And so I really put this to the test. I'll go through a few of the ways that I address worry. If you want more resources, I've got this book called The Secret Art of Happiness, which I'll put a link in the description. But the main thing that I go to all of the time is meditation and connecting into something greater. So having a spiritual practice and letting things go to the greatest sense of connection that you can imagine. So for me, I really connect to this idea that the universe is loving, kind, and wise, and that there's this infinite intelligence that makes up all of matter. So when you go to that 0-point field in quantum physics that extends through everything everywhere, I believe that that energy is wise, loving, creative, and kind, and wants me to feel that same way. So I have this awesome meditation I just did. I love it. It's called the Infinite Universe Meditation. It's on Insight Timer. I'll put that link in here so you can actually practice it. But anything that drops you into that state of infinite connection will help you get out of a worried state of mind. Another resource that might help is The Fear Cure by Dr. Lissa Rankin. She's a medical doctor and she researched what makes people well and what makes people better, and noticed the really strong connection between our social and emotional states and our physical health and well-being. Fascinating work that she's done. In The Fear Cure, she talks about how getting out of that anxiety, fearful state can be created by having this sense of connection to your intuition and to the something more than you, and really following that energy. So that's a really useful place to start. Proof of Heaven by Eben Alexander is also an awesome resource. In that book, he's also a medical doctor, a neurologist who had a near-death experience. So sometimes that is a really fascinating way of just pondering or opening up your mind to this idea that there's this greater energy that's in everything and everywhere, and that we are so much more than just being these hunks of meat and little physical bodies. We're actually connected to everything. And in that connection, we can relax and let some of our worries go into, in some ways, greater hands. I think of it as like putting all of your worries and troubles into this giant pair of hands. So if the universe, this loving being energy of all that is, could form magic hands and reach them out towards you, and this is the same organizing energy and intelligence that keeps the planet spinning in its orbit, that keeps the sun and the moon going, that creates that push of life that gets sprouts coming out of their seeds. That's the energy, the life force energy that we tap into with Reiki. That energy can take care of all details, big or small. And just for a moment, placing those worries into those big hands. There's nothing too little, there's nothing too big. You can get help with every little piece of it. So when you imagine taking whatever you're concerned about and placing it into that greater care, then you can just relax for a little bit because you know it's been taken care of, even just for 5 minutes. So just sort of, you're not, dismissing your responsibility or running away from it or putting a happy face sticker on your life. It's not the don't worry, be happy sort of surface part. It's deeper than that. It's giving yourself space for a time to hand it over to a wiser form of energy, and then feel the relief that happens in your body. So right away, what you might notice in your body is this big wave of relief. Then you can start connecting to the energy of solution, and also getting comfortable with the unknown. Sometimes we really get stuck or caught into worries about things where the stakes are high, we care a lot, the results could be, important in our lives, they could have big impacts, and there's nothing we can do about it, or we're not sure if what's going to happen. There's big question marks. So letting the question marks be question marks without letting our minds race to fill in the most terrible answer, just giving yourself a little window and space where you give yourself permission to put it into this responsible form of care, and then let the relief flow through your body. And when you do that, you can then decide whether you need any of those worries back. And then you can also get tapped into this greater insight or intuition, which is like, what is actually your role to make this situation better? So sometimes it's not offering our worries to people we care about or to a situation, but coming with compassion or empathy or just space to just sit in a space that is uncomfortable for a moment and not try to change it. Just be with it. And we sometimes neglect how powerful our being with people, with situations, with the discomfort. Just sit and be in the uncomfortable place for a moment and know that it's okay to feel the way you do. It's normal to have the ups and downs of worries, but just notice them. Notice them, make space for it, and then get that presence and connection to something greater. You can get that connection to the something greater in many, many ways. Nature, being mindful in nature is really, really amazing. Nature is very, very old. Life has been on this planet for a very, very long time. And so when we connect with nature, we're connecting with this field of creation that is patient, is wise, it's seen everything, and it keeps on going. So it taps us into this idea of this eternal life force, which can be a support for us when things are strained. Also reaching out to other forms of connection with people. So getting connected with people you love and love you, people who lift you up, who are able to just be with you even when you might be in a heightened state. Just hang out with them. Pets are really great for this. Just spending time in that space of love and connection can really help regulate you out of that fight or flight state and into a calmer, wiser energy. When you're in that space, you get pieces of your own guidance coming through. And when you can connect to your own guidance, then things really expand and open up. And then you can navigate through the difficult path. You can let things drop away that maybe need to drop away. Maybe you don't need to be worried about that particular thing. And it gives you that space to drop it into big hands and then leave it there. You don't always have to take all of those worries back, but when you do take them back in your hands, you can do so mindfully and with a plan, with some insight and intuition about what the best action is, rather than letting that fearful fight or flight space guide your next steps. You might still have to, put yourself together and make some big changes, but that's okay. That's part of the grittiness of living life. And when we come from it, from that wise inner space, then things start to ease and open up. So that's some of the many tools I use to get out of worry, but meditation is the biggest one, connecting to that big power within and through all things, and then letting that information that flows in guide my next steps. So I hope that helps with you. Please share. I'm so curious. How does this sit with you? Please share in the comments and just send us a message to let us know, how does this video sit with you? Do you have any other questions? We'd love to hear from you. So thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.